By Budweiser, for all you do. This Bud's for you.
And if that catch wasn't the finest, it was one of the most important, or the most important, right up to this point.
Oh, no question, Earl. That was a big, big catch by Gary Matthews as Keith Moreland will lead off the 7th. Moreland has walked, and he has flied to center. He's 0 for 1. There's the strike, and now the shadow is right at home plate.
You know, as a hitter, Don, I don't think quite yet the shadow comes into play because it's not far enough out. The ball, you're still seeing the ball with a lot of sunlight.
Right. Bounce foul. Dennis Lewin says only the shadow knows.
Lamont Cranston. He was the shadow, Reggie.
That's him.
That's when we used to sit and watch the radio instead of the television.
1-2 the count. That reminds me of the line that Sparky Anderson told me this summer. He said he's finally realized his position in the media work. He says he's got a face for radio and a voice for television. And our congratulations to Sparky and all the Detroit Tigers. There's a line drive left field. Right there, Martinez to make the catch. A reminder that tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, President Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale in their first debate here on ABC, which will be moderated by ABC News commentator Barbara Walters. That'll be tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on ABC.
We've reached the point of the game where we're down to each out. Maybe not each pitch yet, but we're down to each out.
Each one's very, very important, as you say.
Here's Ron Say, 0 for 2 today. Scroogie doesn't get it, 0-1.
Now that kind of a pitch will be tough to pick up because it's a little tough to pick up the spin on a breaking ball, a slow breaking ball, off speed.
3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Chicago. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for San Diego. The 5th and final game fouled away. 0-2 the count.
A second look at this pitch to Ron Say. This ball will come in and out of the shadows. There it's in sunlight, and all of a sudden it's in the shade. That's what the hitter sees.
0-2 the count. Foul, right side out of play.
The hitters will pretty much tell you whether they're having problems with the sun or the shadow, Don.
Right.
They'll be a little bit late, maybe swinging and missing, maybe straining to look at the ball.
Watch the reaction, especially if foul balls coming off of the bat or the big swing and a miss. Just outside, and the count 1-2. Once again, they get the wave going through Jack Murphy Stadium here in San Diego.
We have to remember shadows are not Lefferts making some good pitches, too.
That's foul. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Craig Lefferts with that no wind-up motion or pitching out of a stretch, I've mentioned a couple of times when he pitched before. Just a little more, give him a little more control. Doesn't have to do quite as much, doesn't have to worry about as much. A lot of pitchers have done that, especially when they relieve all the time. They're more comfortable with it.
Well, I'll tell you, when you get those shadows up there, too, it will not only affect the hitter at times, but it can affect the pitcher on his reaction with a ball coming back at him. Lefferts with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes to Say. High. Left center, Bobby Brown calling. He's there. 2 gone.
Get another look at this pitch, Don. In our super slow motion camera, boy, the ball looks really easy to hit here. As Craig Leffert lets the ball go, you see it all white right now in the sun, and all of a sudden, bingo, it's gone. Looks like it's got to make it a little tough to see.
Now there you see that shadow. Now, in another inning or so, that shadow will move on out a little bit more. You'll have the hitter back in the daylight, and that strip will be between the hitter and the pitcher. Bouncer by Jody Davis to Templeton. On across to Garvey. And the Cubs are gone in the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 3-2, and we'll be back with more baseball after this word from our local station.
Jackson coming up Saturday here on ABC. One of the great traditions in college football. From Dallas, Texas, and Oklahoma. 3:30 Eastern Time.
Oh, high over Jack Murphy Stadium here in San Diego. The shot from our Goodyear blimp Columbia from Carson, California. The pilot Charles Russell from Downey. And our cameraman Arch Griffin up there this afternoon on a beautiful afternoon here in Southern California. Warm sunshine. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning of play. The Cubs on top 3-2. And it'll be Martinez, Templeton, and the pitcher spot. And Dick Williams has Gossage throwing in the bullpen.
Oh, we're going to see a pinch hitter this inning. That's why the goose is up.
Martinez has popped to short and hit the ball hard, and Dernier made a good catch running down in deep right center. There's Gossage. Up high, the count 1-0. Last inning, Trout and Eckersley were throwing for Jimmy Fry in the bullpen. On deck, Gary Templeton. Slider outside, 2-0.
That's a pitch he doesn't ordinarily miss with. I wonder if he's starting to get tired.
Martinez with 13 home runs on the year. He does not have a lot of speed, and lo and behold, the last one he hit was on the 2nd of September, an inside the park home run against the Mets. High, 3-0. And Davis wants to talk to Sutcliffe. Jimmy Fry.
Concerned, very concerned. The last thing he wanted to see happen was for his pitcher to go out and throw 3 straight balls.
Get Trout up, he says. Give me the left-hander. Billy Connors, the pitching coach, says, well, you want Eckersley with it? Just give me Trout. He walks him on 4 pitches. Sutcliffe did not throw that ball well at all.
Oh, you sure wouldn't expect that.
He kind of aimed it, Earl.
Yes, he did. Signs of fatigue, it looks like.
Well, Sutcliffe now. An old trick right here.
Maybe biding a little time, getting a little breather.
Watch Sutcliffe here in super slow-mo. He does not have a lot on this pitch. More or less just kind of aims it up there and misses high.
Well, I know, Don, that during the season, when over there in Anaheim this time of year, I mean, it's hot. And we were down on the field today, so we take a look at Steve Trout, who pitched the 2nd game over there in Chicago. It is exceptionally hot down there. And I'm sure it's taking its toll right now on Rick Sutcliffe. This is where, for me, I like to hit against a guy like this now because I thought he got a little tired.
Here's Templeton, going to square around the bunt. Does so. They might have a play at second, but Say looks at first, goes to Sandberg, and the sacrifice works.
Yes, it does. A big sacrifice. Get to see it again. Templeton squares around, gets the ball down in a very good spot. When it hit that grass, it slowed up. At first, it looked like Say might have a play at second base, but first base was his only play.
Good execution and a good bunt.
Now here's Tim Flannery. He's going to come on and pinch hit.
And yes, Howard Cosell, I would have bunted in that situation.
The coach, the manager has to give an excuse or explain himself to the coach.
Now here's Flannery.
Only on exceptions. And Howard's an exception.
Martinez at second. They go back there, but no throw. Sutcliffe will use that move.
It'll be interesting to see to me now what they do with Alan Wiggins. Whether they want to make him hit right-handed or make him hit left-handed.
Trout throwing. I believe it's Brewstar got up along with him. Ground ball hit the dirt right through his legs. Here comes Martinez. We're tied at 3.
See it again. Should have been an easy play. Durham's down doing everything he can to keep it from going through, but it got through anyway.
Ball hit pretty sharp by Flannery. Durham gets down on the ball to protect, but he just doesn't stay down long enough. He's got his glove between his legs. The ball can hit on his knee. It can hit on the instep of his shoe or his glove, and it misses everything.
A 3-3 tie. 1 out in the top of the order. Alan Wiggins, the hitter. That is Mark Williams, the younger son of Dick Williams, alongside of the Padres skipper. Here's Wiggins. There's a strike, and the count 0-1. The outfield shading Wiggins a hit to the opposite field. Moreland quite a ways over into right center field. Boy, I'll tell you, Wiggins ever turns on a ball, and it's Katie bar the door. Tries to bunt it, fouls it away. Right now, let's go down to Tim McCarver in the Cub bullpen.
Steve Trout and Warren Brewstar are both warming up, and I would imagine Jim Fry will save Steve Trout for Tony Gwynn, Greg Nettles, and Terry Kennedy. Back to the booth, Don.
All right, Timmy, thank you very much. Trout the left-hander, Brewster the right-hander. And Davis wants to have a chat with Sutcliffe.
Well, he knows that this may be Rick Sutcliffe's last hitter. They're not going to let Alan Wiggins turn around and bat right-handed because he's a .312 hitter right-handed and a .234 hitter left-handed, Don.
Tony Gwynn on deck. Say, even with a bag at third. Durham holding Flannery at first. 1 out, a run in. 3-3 tie. Little looper left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Matthews on a big hop as Flannery stops at second.
Fry's got his big man on the mound. I think he's going to stay with him.
Well, I would kind of agree. You got to either win it or lose it with your big guy. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, he's got you where you're at. And you've got Tony Gwynn, the National League batting champion, standing at the plate. How are you going to win, Earl? Here's a case where you don't even want to be a manager.
I've said that to myself a million times. There's Dick Williams. He's sitting in a pretty good position.
Well, he's got a .350 hitter up there, 1 out. And the winning run on second base, the lead run. Go ahead, run.
Well, we had an error, which would have been the second out in the blue pit, so Fry's decided to stay with him. I think it's a good decision myself.
And I think that error will make the mind up for a lot of managers,
Yes,
Earl,
sir.
don't you?
Sure. It's not like a line drive down either line.
Right.
It's an out the pitcher should have had.
Alan Wiggins did a great job. He played hardball, big league baseball, did anything to get on, put the bat on the ball for a single to left field.
Hard. Sandberg over his head, a right center field base hit. 1 run will score. Moreland is slow getting it. Here comes Wiggins. Here comes the throw to the plate. He's safe. The third is Gwynn. 5-3. San Diego. So the infield comes in. The Padres 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th, and Steve Garvey will be the hitter. Hard up the middle, base hit. Gwynn scores 6-3 San Diego.
Now we'll see Fry come out, I'm sure.
Here he comes. Dick Williams trying to restrain the troops because as fast as they've scored 4, Williams has been there, but listen to the hand for Sutcliffe, and what a year that big redhead has had. A break in the action. Steve Trout will come on. We'll be back from San Diego in a moment.
America's Presidents, America's Game. Join in the commemoration of a grand old tradition by getting your World Series program. Send a $5 check or money order to World Series Program, P.O. Box 8484, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650. That's World Series Program, P.O. Box 8484, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Steve Garvey at first base, driving in the 6th run of the ball game. Trout delivers high to Nettles. So Trout making his 2nd appearance. Steve won game number 2. That was at Wrigley Field. There you see the numbers on Trout back in Chicago. 4 runs in for the Padres here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They now lead it 6-3. Foul away, the count 1-1. But don't count the Cubs out. They were down last night twice by 2, and they came back.
Well, we'll have to do it all for the same fella, I think. We'll more than likely see Gossage.
Gonna see Goose.
Outside the count, 2-1.
The heat probably had something to do with that. It was hot on the field before the ball game.
It was awfully hot, and I'm sure that Rick Sutcliffe got tired.
It had to be. Well, we all 3 of us were down there, and we know how hot it was. Low, ball 3, 3-1. Brewster throwing behind Trout, and Davis wants to have a little chat with Steve.
They can feel it here now. You played in this situation when you're on the field, when you're in the dugout. There's just an electric feeling that goes through you, that the crowd brings to you, that, of course, obviously the score of the game brings to you, but you just feel it, and you're weighing on every pitch right now.
Durham looks at second. He'll step on the bag. There's 2 gone. Now Garvey at second. In the inning, just to recap it, Martinez let it off. He walked on 4 pitches.